This is one of our biggest events of the year when we have about 500 to 600 people that come in. And it is a little bit different from other museums where we are able to be a little bit more hands-on. We have children upstairs building a brick wall. We have kids that are doing crafts. We've got the Richmond Clarinet Choir. They've been here a few years. We have a magic show.
Is this your card? Is this his card that he picked? Yes, thank you.
And we have a train display. Oh, we definitely love the community coming in, both the young and old. This building's been here for 187 years, and we have people drive by all the time saying that they have looked forward to the opportunity to get inside the building, and now they're able to do that, and they're surprised to find out how many different uses that Walkerton's been used for over the years. One of the things that we love to do is to serve tea to our guests here. That would have been a very common thing throughout the 1900s, so we continue that tradition today. Later on tonight, Santa Claus shows up on a fire truck, and he'll help everyone turn on our Christmas tree lights that's just across the street.
Here at the Clark Palmore House for the Holiday on Parade, we have lots of things that you'll see here. You can take a tour of the house.
First, this is what's known as a Putz Village. And this is kind of the forerunner of the modern Christmas villages.
And it's set up like the 1930s and Great Depression era. We have it decorated during that era as well. And then we have our tent set up with different crafts and activities. We chose to do orange pomander ornaments, which are just oranges with cloves in there and decorated with ribbon. We chose those because during the Great Depression, especially living in Virginia, the oranges were definitely a delicacy. They were something special for you to have during Christmas. We have a game set up that's called Did Shirley Temple Have It? And Shirley Temple was really popular during the 1930s. So since she's a child and she would have been getting toys, we came up with toys, the toy, for all the decades. And for 1930s and specifically, we have the Viewmaster came out. And then we also have the Batman comic books. During the 1930s, we have lots of inventions, and one of those inventions is actually Scotch tape. Before the 1930s, you'd have to use either string to tie your packages or actually straight pins to wrap up your packages. So it was a really great and time saver invention during the 1930s of the Scotch tape, so they could quickly wrap presents and get them to where they need to go. Also, during the 1930s, really expensive glass ornaments weren't something that you could buy. Any, ceramic nativity scenes or anything, you couldn't afford that. The process of die cutting cardboard, that really became popular. So they were able to make puzzles and cardboard nativity scenes. The Clark Palmore house is definitely frozen in time. The 1930s was Mrs. Palmore's favorite time period when she was growing up. So that's why we've put the house back in that. But it's important for us to kind of reflect back on where we've come from, how things that we still enjoy today, that they were invented down, back when there was a time where you had to be inventive.
Here at Meadow Farm, we are displaying the holidays in a little different way. Our time period is 1860. We have a little bit of greenery around the Meadow Farm farmhouse. Greenery is kind of representative of new life and springtime and all that's to come and flourish and hopefully be offered to the family in the upcoming year. You might see some mistletoe around the house. which traditionally a kissing ball was something that would be found, and for every kiss you pulled a berry, and when all the berries were gone, the kissing ceased. We've got a Christmas tree in our parlor, which is actually a new tradition in the mid-1800s, something brought over from the Germans that was not accepted by everyone at the time. During the holidays, we all enjoy a good feast, and in 1860 that was no different. They would be cooking large fares, any kind of meats, especially chickens, turkeys, and holiday fare would include whatever seasonal vegetables that might be available. You might have pies, not necessarily the types of pies, fruit pies that we're familiar with, but maybe meat pies and vegetable pies, things like that. Another tradition are stockings hung by the fire. The story goes that a nobleman lost all of his money and couldn't find a way to come up with a dowry for his children, his 3 daughters. So as he worried one night, St. Nicholas heard his pleas for help and decided to drop 3 bags of coins down the chimney, which landed in the girls' stockings that were drying by the fireplace. People traditionally would, after that story regarding the stockings, not necessarily hang stockings, but maybe something else that would ensure them to get a bag of gold. A lot of times when people come to Meadow Farm, they expect lots of festive greenery and garlands and lights, and we're just not quite there. This is a time where holidays were a little more muted in its celebration, whereas things were a little more representative, and family and the food and just the gatherings were the most important.
Donder, Blitzen, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen!
We decided when we opened the facility that we wanted to do something much like the Rockettes used to do way back when in New York, at Radio City Music Hall, where the Rockettes did a performance prior to showing the holiday movie every year. We do a lot of tapping. We have a couple of wonderful singers that perform.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
We have an onstage live piano player, which in the past everything's been recorded. So this year we kind of mixed it up, and some is performed live and some is to a CD. So it's a little bit of everything.
What fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
We didn't do a lot of Rockette kicking this year because I didn't have as many girls as we have had in the past. So we just kind of go with who we have each year and kind of change the spectrum of it. But it's an awful lot of fun to do. One thing that you know you're going to get every year, regardless of who is in it or what the numbers are or how we have to format it, is it's an awful lot of just Christmas fun. The first weekend of every month we show movies, and they're all $1. And so we decided for this just not to make it any difference. Keep it consistent. For a whole $1, you get a half-an-hour live performance and then the movie to follow. So it's the best deal in town.
Roll out the barrels and cheer you and shout till they hear you. A Merry Christmas, everyone.
We're here to promote a safe event, and should any need for law enforcement arise on the river, whether that's a safety issue or a law enforcement issue, we're here to take control of that situation. Well, you're going to see several boats all decked out with their own holiday creations on their boats. Lots of reindeer, Santa, snowmen, anything you can think of. I think one year there was a boat that had dancing penguins. So anything you can imagine that they could put on their boat lit up, they're going to put it on there.
A lot of guys go wide open, and everybody's switching to the LED lights. They're easier to power, they're brighter, and you can put more of them on. Some of the boats will have inflatables. I've never gone that route for fear that one of these nights we're going to do this and it's going to be windy and I might end up losing it. This year we've probably got 1,500, 2,000 lights. And it's actually running off of a generator that's sitting on the back of the boat. Generally, like for Katie, we're just kind of decorator, but some of these guys, it's a big deal to them and they'll spend 2 or 3 weeks putting lights on the boat, and they really go all out and they have a lot of fun doing it. It's a lot of fun, it's a lot of camaraderie amongst the boaters, but it also brings the community together. We'll pass several places on the river, Kingsland Reach, where there'll be 2,000 people. So it brings the boating community and the community at large together.
It's fun, and it is also challenging. The river at night poses a lot of challenge that you're not going to have during the day. We're navigating a lot by instruments and other equipment that we have on the boat. A lot of these boats don't have the same equipment that we have, which is why, it's our responsibility to help them. And I think that helps a lot of the boats that are involved in this parade, gives them a little comfort knowing that we're out here.
When I was about 8 years old, I found a box of lights in the shed, and I've always had this thing for lights. So me and my dad came out and put lights up. It was a door and 2 bushes. And next year, he bought a couple more strings of lights. We did a little bit more, and about 4 years later, he says, since you enjoy doing it more than I do now, if you want to do it, keep going at it. He bought me pretty much whatever I needed, and he just let it grow. Because of my dad letting me do it and financially backing it when I was a kid, this is what we had today. I had a friend about 2 weeks ago count it. I think he said there was 89 Santa Clauses between the 2 yards. I know we have 5 individual nativity scenes. We have about 1.5 million lights, 69 20-amp breakers turn the lights on and off, and 2.5 months to put it up and about 2 to 3 weeks to take it down. We do this for a couple of reasons. Main thing is for the family. My mother loves it. It's fun to do. It's a hobby. It's a hobby that benefits everybody. Everybody can come by and enjoy it. It's almost like we say, it's sort of a kind of an art form. Then to stand out here and just listen to the people, no matter how young or how old, everybody's happy and enjoy it and lifts them up. And that's why we do it.
I estimate right now that we are just shy of 70,000 lights, over 100 lighted figurines all over the lawn, and about 4 miles of electrical cords. It takes me approximately 2 months to set it up. It comes down in about 6 weeks. We average about 22,000 visitors a year. Some of the things that you can see are, for instance, the 2 10-foot toy soldiers. The other thing that we've added too is that we've had Mr. and Mrs. M&M. It's something that I'm doing, it's something that I created, and I'm always apprehensive as to whether other people will like it or enjoy it, and so far it's been overwhelming. I'm going to keep doing this as long as I can because it brings so much joy. It gives so many people a warm and fuzzy and really puts them into the spirit. So for that, it's well worth it.
Well, we started decorating here in 1999, and the wife made an innocent comment after a limo trip to see the Christmas lights that night. She said, let's put some lights on the bushes, you know, and we had some candles in the window back then, and that little innocent comment of let's put some lights on the bushes, and you can see what happened. Going from just those first few lights to where we are now, which is a huge undertaking and many, many hours of work. The thing that got me going was I built a couple of Christmas pieces. But the first one I built, it has lights in it. It was a nativity, and it's right up front and center of the yard. And I can always remember when I first turned it on. You know, this is the first thing I've ever built. You know, I'm not used to doing this. And I remember plugging it in, and I went, wow. We start in September putting the lights up, and we have the lights up, and then we take the lights down, and that's sometime in February, and then we do maintenance and repair and refurbish and get ready for next year, and every light's looked at, and that all happens into about April 1st. Then we take a vacation. And then we come back, and I start building things for the next year right up until we start putting them up early in September. The thing that really keeps me going is the people I meet. People from all over the country and all over the world. And we've had 102 countries sign in our guest list, and every state in the union. So the people are just phenomenal. You know, the mother and dad and their little kids, and they're running up and down, and they're all excited, and you know, oh, this is awesome, this is beautiful, you know, and you see the excitement.